All right. I think we are ready to go. It is
Catalog.
it is catalog day. Welcome everybody to our annual Ryan and Dave and Corey and Megan catalog show. We've got a whole lot of information to cover today. The Lionel 2024 Big Book dropped yesterday morning, so you may have had a chance to look through and see things. Please, as you're following along, feel free to put in your comments there and ask questions. We will probably not be able to get to all of them on the air today, but we will hit whatever we can as we're going. We want to try and get through everything. So with that in mind, we'll start off with the scale section of things, and we'll get that up here on the screen so you can all follow along. Of course, this is, as we've mentioned in the months leading up to our catalog release, this is the 20th anniversary of the Polar Express movie, and that's been a huge part of Lionel's story and product line for the last 20 years as well. So it will be featured prominently here in the pages ahead. We've got a lot of great new product to talk about there further back in the catalog.
It's a magic train.
All right. Last year, we came out early with our premier item, the Vision Triplex locomotive. You've probably seen quite a number of videos and presentations on that, and there will certainly be more to come throughout this year because we've gone through that in a lot of detail already, and we've got a lot of new stuff to cover that you haven't seen before. I'm going to hold on talking about this at this point in time. Please check out our social media pages if you have any questions about the Vision locomotives and follow up on those videos there. I think it will probably answer most of your questions. These are already in the production queue. They will be shipping out of the factory, we believe, around the first week of July. So, and a late summer, maybe mid to late August arrival here at your dealers. So if you haven't already, please see your local Lionel dealer and get one of these on order.
And don't forget the set. It's probably the longest set we've ever produced.
It's certainly one of them. It's going to be quite the box with 15 cars in the train plus the locomotive and some unique road names at that just for the set.
It's like 15 feet long, isn't it?
Something like that, yeah. All right, starting off with new locomotives in the Volume 1 catalog. We're going to kick off with the Berks, of course, with the Polar Express. You know, you'll be seeing those further back, but that also gives us a chance to run these locomotives again as well in many prototypical and popular road names. These always sell out quickly and are very popular every time we do them. So we've got a couple of different nickel plate varieties and also a fantasy scheme there. Sort of based on nickel plate's passenger cars with the blue and stainless steel look. If you liked the Chessie Greenbrier from last year, you'll love this one. Very similar sort of look and effect. We've also got the C&O 2765. People will note this actually is represents the nickel plate 765 in its New River Gorge excursion train years. When it was dolled up a little bit to look like a C&O Connaught. So
it is river gorgeous.
It is. We've also got a DT&I and, of course, the Paramarquette 1225 in here. These locomotives will all feature whistle steam, all the other great standard legacy features, rail sounds, stack smoke, whistle steam, you name it. You got the whole 9 yards in there.
The whole gamut. And let's not forget that the Paramarquette 1225 is the locomotive and the inspiration for the Polar Express.
That is correct.
So if you want the real one, here it is.
Yeah. All right. Those looking for something a little bit bigger, we've got the H7 2882s coming back again. These have not been in the catalog for quite a number of years now.
It's like 2013, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these started off as a C&O design. They were one of the first simple articulated locomotives in widespread use and production use in the U.S. And they went through a number of changes over their years on the C&O, the most notable being the swap out of tenders from time to time. And so for the first time here, we're doing the C&O versions, four different lettering schemes and 3 different tender options on here. They started off with smaller tenders and then quickly went to the larger Vanderbilt style tender in road service. Towards the end, some of the road engines got the larger squared off tenders, more similar to what you see on the Burke or the Allegheny. And then at the very end, as they started retiring these, some of them went back into service in the hump yards, so they got the small Vandies back. and others were sold off to the Union Pacific and the RF&P. So we've got a couple of Union Pacific varieties here, as well as one of the RF&P's engines with the short Vandy tender. And then the Rio Grande didn't have the H7, but they had some 2882s with very similar lines and looks to these. So we're offering that also with the correct style tender there for the Rio Grande unit.
With a doghouse.
With a doghouse on there. A very nice looking locomotive.
Woof.
These have, again, all the full legacy features, including whistle steam. This will be the first time these will have our Bluetooth control on board, as well as the new legacy sounds with the 5 different whistles and different bells and so forth.
Yeah. One thing I always liked about the H7 too is if you look at the pilot version, there is a lot of separately applied detail to them. We actually do have one here. You probably can't see it in the tiny little thumbnail, but very impressive engine in person.
Yeah, we've got a number of samples for our steam locomotives already on the table in front. But if you probably won't see a good view of them here today, come and see us at one of our upcoming shows. It's Springfield or World's Greatest Hobby on Tour. And we'll have plenty of samples there for you to see and look at up close and get a good feel for these products. All right, from really big to something a little bit more modest. For our smaller steam in this catalog, we've got a return of our 460s. This locomotive is based on a New York Central prototype, but there were similar steam locomotives used on railroads all around the country. We've got a few of them here. We've also done a few sort of pseudo-heritage schemes, I guess you'd call them, on the 460s. This is, as 460s go, our prototype's a bit of a more modern variety, but we did some in some of the earlier 10-wheeler paint schemes as well, like the Central New Jersey and the New York Central and Hudson River there with the Russia iron boiler. Should be a really good looking locomotive. We've got Western Pacific and Northern Pacific varieties in there for our Western Railroad fans. These offer all the same great legacy features, including whistle steam in a smaller package and a smaller price tag than the big engines, and they will operate on an 036 or 031 curve.
Yep. What he said.
We've got one more great paint scheme in here, and that's a version done for the B&O. And then to go along with it, we've got 6 of our Woodside passenger cars decorated for the Royal Blue. And this is a neat train. This was the premier coach train between New York and Washington around the turn of the century, and operated over the CNJ, the Reading, and the B&O. And it was identified as the Royal Blue route or the Royal Blue line. Interestingly, at that point, the train wasn't called the Royal Blue yet. That wouldn't come until later, but the color of the train really lent itself to the name. And what's probably most interesting on these cars is that in addition to the really elaborate and nicely decorated paint schemes on these, we've added some new tooling to these wood passenger cars in the forms of the partially enclosed vestibule ends. This was a safety feature that started right around 1900 that put some smaller doors there on the vestibules to help for safe passage back and forth between the cars when the train was rolling along. So we've added that end detail here, and it really does change the look of these cars, surprisingly, when we have the samples, and really adds a nice touch. Of course, these will still come with the interior lighting and figures as well on the inside of the car, and it'll be it's a beautiful train that will be, I think, the highlight of a lot of layouts. If you're like me and you like that late 19th, early 20th century era of railroading with steam and wood coaches and early steel cars, I think that's the cat's meow.
This set will cure your blues.
Absolutely. All right. A lot of great talk about these sets. I've heard a lot of people very excited to see both the Class A Atlantics and the aluminum passenger cars coming back.
There's a lot new on this page.
We haven't done any of these things in
a while,
a good long while. Yeah, this will be the first time with Legacy on the Atlantics. Dave, anything you want to mention on these?
Yeah, like Ryan stated, that it's been a long time since we've done this locomotive, but a lot of the features from the previous TMCC version, are carrying forward to this version. So you will have the set of opening doors at the front of the locomotive, and you'll still be able to open the smoke box door as well. And we've done other upgrades and features, including the kinematic drawbar and the tender, and adding whistle steam and other standard legacy features like that too. It's going to be a really nice locomotive. And what always surprised me about this little engine is just how hefty and beefy it is for,
Mhm.
you know, something that's only in Atlantic. So definitely an impressive locomotive that we're looking forward to bringing back.
They look small, but these were in real life, the biggest Atlantics ever built.
Yep.
So neat locomotive. And we couldn't bring this locomotive back without something for it to pull. So we're bringing back the 18-inch aluminum passenger cars. It has been a good decade or so since we've done these. The aluminum car production is not without its challenges.
That's for sure.
One of the advantages we have here with Milwaukee Road is that these will all be painted cars, obviously, and not polished aluminum. So that does make things a little easier for us from the factory. And we still had these tooling from these cars the last time we did it, and that would be the best way for us to get the beaver tail observation car and those unique windows versus trying to tool it all again new in 21-inch plastic passenger cars.
And we put quite a bit of effort into the beaver tail observation
Mhm.
car. Not only a new design, you know, for new tooling for the beaver tail, and this is the beaver tail that's more flat versus the other
Mhm.
version, which kind of had that center rib, right?
Right.
But what we noticed when we were redesigning this too is that the prototype had a horn on the rear of the beaver tail. So we decided to put the station sound diner electronics in the observation car for this set. And doing so, we are going to actually put an air horn on the in the car so that you can blow the horn on the station sound diner.
Yeah. So that's why you see the cars packaged here a little bit differently. We've got the 4-car set and the 3-car add-on set. So the 4-car set includes the station sounds observation car, which, as Dave said, will have the horn and then also your normal station sounds
Correct.
announcements and so forth. And then to do the prototypical 7-car train, you can get the 3-car add-on set there with 2 more coaches and the diner. And then that diner will be just a conventional car with a detailed interior, but no sounds.
Yeah.
And all of these cars will come with figures on the interiors as well, and will be upgraded with our flicker-free lighting.
Yep.
Light boards.
Yeah, and the great part about this is, yeah, it's 7 aluminum heavy passenger cars, but that Atlantic will be able to pull them no problem.
Sure thing. Another thing to point out here, in addition to our great Lionel Lines Locomotive of the Year paint scheme, we're doing 3 different variations of the Milwaukee Road Hiawatha, numbers 1, 2, and 4. You see number 4 pictured here, and it's worth noting in the later years of these locomotives, they added a red warning light to the front, and so this locomotive will have that there on the nose as well. If we turn the page, you'll see 2 of the other versions. The very beginning with without the Hiawatha emblem on the tender, and then slightly later version with the emblem. And then also here on this page, you see the earlier version, the original version of the paint scheme on the passenger cars.
Yep.
So we have 2 prototypical Milwaukee Road paint schemes here as well for this train. In addition to that, we wanted to offer this because we haven't done aluminum cars in a while, or this locomotive for so long. We took inspiration from some other railroads that had similar styled locomotives, at least in terms of shape. Now, some of these were Pacific, some of them were Hudsons, and so forth. But we took our usual Lionel liberties with all of that and created some fun paint schemes for railroads that would look, we thought at least, would look good and colorful here. The first one being Chicago and Northwestern. The dark green and gold locomotive and the green and yellow passenger train. Again, all the same features here across the trains. On the East Coast, we had the Seaboard, probably one of the brightest in the catalog. And those colors really probably pop extra big here in this image. That's the only nice thing about the aluminum passenger cars and the locomotive, though, is you will have that extra luster that you get with a metal passenger car, metal body car. The paint always just has a little bit more of a luster and a shine on that than it does over plastic, no matter what we do.
And this paint scheme might be bright, but it's not making me hungry like the next page.
That's right. After all of the Challengers and Big Boys and FEFs, we're finally putting the hot dog scheme on a streamlined locomotive, at least. And while it's not the accurate Union Pacific locomotive, it does. Those colors do carry well here. And for those who have the earlier engines that we've done and have been asking for some passenger cars to pull behind them, we've got a great set of Union Pacific matching passenger cars in this, inspired by the Challenger paint scheme here. I think these will be a real popular hit for people. All right, heading into our diesels. We're bringing back the GP9. We've done this a number of times over the years, but the biggest news this go around is we're doing a lot of new tooling and adding the GP9B unit into the list. We've done GP9Bs in the past, but with the older, I guess you would say, post-war style tooling or non-scale tooling.
Yeah.
And so this will be the first time on a legacy locomotive with the proper size hood and so forth to have the GP9Bs. And the Pennsylvania and Union Pacific were the only ones to buy those, but if you're going to tool something based off of something that only 2 railroads own, that's two pretty good railroads to start with.
Yep.
So you'll see here for some roads that didn't have the B units also, the Minneapolis and St. Louis, Norfolk and Western, and the Tuscan Red, the Red passenger scheme, Bangor and Aroostook, and then also Pensy and in the two numbers for the powered, because we would call them A units, as well as a B unit, and all of the B units will have the super bass sounds in there.
Yeah. So they won't have motors.
Correct.
They will have every other feature except for motors, because when we do super bass units, we have to have that extra room for the larger super bass speaker baffle.
Mm-hmm. And especially in this case, because without the cab, we lost a fair amount of space for the motor
For
as well.
sure.
So it was a natural to put the super bass in there. And then we also have a trio for Conrail. And of course, at this era of Conrail, no two should match. So we made sure that we did that here as well with a patch job, sort of a dip job in blue, and then one or two, I think, or maybe 3 GP9Bs that actually got blue paint. So we added that there. And of course, Union Pacific, we've got the 3 unit set there as well. So these are great power for your truck trains or reefer expresses, or you name it, for these roads.
Looks like a catfish with that eyeball.
All right, we've got a few ES44s in this catalog, Dave.
Yay, ES44s.
We've done so many heritage units over the last couple of years that we've had people requesting, hey, could you do some of the normal paint schemes again so we have something to pair up with them? And so we were happy to oblige with that with sort of the big 5 here in the catalog. We've got your BNSF, CSX, Norfolk Southern, Canadian Pacific that I don't think we've done, maybe not since the original Vision Line engines in this paint scheme. And then the new image for Union Pacific as well. And these will all be available in 2 numbers powered, as well as a super base unit. So great to run individually or as part of a larger lash up with normal units or with a couple of your heritage units sprinkled in there to have a neat look. And speaking of heritage units, as we said over the last few catalogs, we are starting a rerun of the Norfolk Southern's 20 heritage units from about 10, 12 years or so ago now. We're doing them 5 at a time. So here are the next 5 ES44 versions of the NS Heritage Fleet. These are all available as full-powered legacy locomotives and also in a completely non-powered version for those who just want a pretty locomotive to put on their mantle or perhaps fill out the consist without all the bells and whistles and at a lower price point. So as we were working our way through the re-hit of all of the Norfolk Southern units, along came CSX and said, we're ready to get into the game here too. And so we've got the first 5 CSX units in the catalog here now. And obviously, since the catalog has come out even, they are still rolling through more CSX heritage units, and they have quite a long list planned ahead of them. We're really, really excited by that. And we will continue to roll through these in the catalogs to come as well. So it will be, over the next couple of catalog cycles, at least, as CSX completes more units, we'll be getting them out here to you. Some people, wish they were all nose to tail heritage. I kind of like the blending of the today and the past. I like where the railroad was going with this one. So I think it's a neat way to do it. And some of these paint schemes are real winners. I'm kind of partial to the B&O one myself.
No comment. I was going to say it's probably the cleanest looking Conrail engine that anyone ever had.
Possible. Definitely possible. All right. SD45s are also back in the catalog with some new details here as well. These will all be available in 2 road numbers each, as well as a 3rd super base unit. And with these super base units, you can pair them with the other SD45s. You can pair them with any other power you'd like in the legacy world. So if you want to mix and match power for a cool looking consist, That gives you a great opportunity to do that and add the extra sounds. We've got the As Delivered Santa Fe. We've got 100% of the D&H's 3-unit fleet of SD45s represented here in the lightning stripe scheme. Rio Grande, one of always a great paint scheme. We held back on this over the years because we wanted to get the tooling in there for the nose-mounted lights. So this will have the gyro light and the headlights on there prototypically. Redding as well, great color scheme. And we've made the tooling changes here to extend the front of the cab for the dual control stands. You've got the drip rail there on the cab as well. So these locomotives have lots of road-specific details.
Yes.
Southern Pacific, we've got some of the rebuild units here with that light package. Handbrake location, truck side frames, pilot details, rooftop details. There's quite a bit of an assortment from road to road on these. Frisco, another new paint scheme for us that we've had lots of requests for. One thing I just want to point out on this, following the prototype, the 911 was the only Frisco engine to get the SD45 that had the coonskin logo there on the front. So this one will have it. The other two road numbers here will just have the plain white and red nose. So if you're a Frisco fan and wondering about that, we'll be modeling those units correctly. All right, E6 A's and B's. What are your thoughts on these, Dave? I feel like I'm not letting you speak enough as usual.
As usual. I actually am really interested in the GM set. I mean, the clear bodies.
Yeah, so this is one of the most fun ones we've done in a while. At the General Motors Pavilion at the 1939-1940 World's Fair, the entrance to the pavilion, everyone walked in past an E6 unit. And one side of it was, I would assume, covered in plexiglass or something like that. They filled in where the body panels would be so that you had this great view right into the interior of the engine. And it started off year one with an AB set. In 1940, the B unit went away and actually went into service. And then the A unit was re-equipped with the open sides and got a new yellow and red paint scheme to boot. So we thought it would be fun. We haven't done a see-through locomotive in a while.
Yeah.
We thought it would be fun to sort of pay tribute to how the prototype was set up there at the World's Fair and do a clear body engine showing all of the Lionel internals. So you'll see the dual motors, you'll see the legacy boards, the speakers and so forth. You'll see all of that inside here and it'll be a neat unit. For all of the E6s, we're doing these in either AB or AA pairs, depending on how the railroad ordered them. And then we have an optional add-on B unit as well, which will be the Super Base B unit. So
we also have the optional fixed pilot on these as well.
Yes.
So if you want to have the more prototypical look for those that didn't have the coupler on the front, the more closed pilot, we're including that with the appropriate SKUs as well.
Yep, and you'll be able to mount that right on the nose, so it won't have the truck swing and so forth. Because the operating couplers in front are nice, but most of you run your passenger trains as a solid unit and don't do a whole lot of switching with those E6s. So.
And these are like more streamlined locomotives, so it makes it look better.
A couple more great paint schemes here. We've got a nice mix match on the Rock Island again. They repainted. They kept their E6s in service for a good long while, and in the repaint years got all sorts of different unique paint schemes. I think my personal favorite was the one which got the 830, which got the gold wings on the front. So we have that here as well as a sister unit and slightly more common darker red and yellow painted wings there. And then a Rock Island B unit as well in the bold red paint scheme. And these often got mixed in with other power. So if you've bought some of the recent F units or E units for your commuter trains or long distance passenger trains, feel free to mix them up and have some fun here. And then, of course, we've also got a 4-pack of the Al Capone cars for those Rock Island commuter trains as well, which I think a lot of Rock Island guys will be happy with. And as a Southern Pacific guy, I'm guessing you're leaning towards the city of San Francisco here, Dave.
Looks pretty good.
And that ran as an ABB set, so you'll want to get all 3 units.
Yes.
Another great E6 offering we have here is our sort of pseudo E5 for the CB&Q. They were the only road to order the stainless steel car bodied on the with the fluted sides in the E5s. We'll be simulating that effect with our metallic paint and the shadow line painting effect that we've done on passenger cars in several recent years, and it's a pretty pleasing effect, and will make a nice option for those who want some good Burlington power. Again, the AB powered set, and then the Super Base B unit available, along with 7 21-inch passenger cars. These will have a similar metallic finish to them as the locomotive, so they'll blend in well together in a consist. You've got the 4-pack, 2-pack, and station sound Steiner there, with all of our conventional bells and whistles.
What are we going to call this train?
You know, we have a name for it, and I'm not sure I can recall off the top of my head, Dave.
Okay.
You're supposed to ask me these things ahead of time.
Oh, sorry.
Tracy, what are we calling this train?
It's either the Silver Racer or the Texas Zephyr.
I think it's the Texas Zephyr for the train, and then the locomotive itself has the Silver Racer name on there.
This is why Brian doesn't let me talk.
You get me into trouble, Dave. All right, we've got some SW8s. We've done a lot of switchers recently. We talk about these features a lot. They're a great little locomotive, single motor drive, fixed pilots, and all the other great bells and whistles of a legacy engine that will go anywhere. What I liked about the SW8s is they were about as many of those in industrial railroading as there were on well-known mainline type common carrier railroads. And so we've got the Detroit Edison with Ready Kilowatt here, and the U.S. Air Force version. Also Erie Lackawanna, Texas Pacific, CNW, and Reading and Northern. Great little locomotives.
I don't think you'll ever run out of road names you can put on these switchers.
No, they just keep on coming.
Yep.
Of course, this is the single stack version. And we have like the SW9s, SW1200s with the dual stack. But these are a great little engine, and quite a number of road specific details here as well, including some of the horns and antennas and lighting packages and so forth. Now here's one you haven't seen in the catalog for a while.
Yes.
The U28C. As best as I can tell, we made one U28C for Pennsy about 10 or 12 years ago, and then haven't touched it since. So it was time to bring this one back. We've got, I think, most of the original owners of this locomotive and hand-me-downs represented here between Pennsy, Seaboard, Southern Pacific, UP, and then, of course, you get the L&N and PC and Conrail in there. There are some nice road-specific options on here as well, including some of the different lighting arrangements, horn locations, pilot details, etc. We have not done these U-boats in quite a while, so I think it's going to be neat to bring these back again and have some fun with them. 2 road numbers each, both powered.
Nice.
All right, some of our high-end sets. The first up, we've got a nickel plate fast freight set. So many great color schemes in these cars and whatnot. This one felt like a real natural to do, and we've got a lot of great features in this set. Similar to some of the other sets we've done recently, just with less cars in between. We've got lots of sound cars and operation to go on here. So we've got the Legacy Burke. We've got the Vision stock car with the cattle sounds. We've got our new reefer, which, Dave, I'm sure you're going to want to talk a lot about the new hot box reefer in this set.
Yeah, when we get to that page, let's go over that guy.
We'll leave him hanging for a little bit there. TOFC flat car, box car, and the Vision caboose to bring up the markers. So from
everything makes a sound in this.
From pilot to marker lights, this thing has a whole lot of fun in this. About the time you get the cattle calmed down in the stock car, you're going to have a hot box in your reefer and be spilling the coffee in the caboose. It's going to be fun taking this thing around the layout.
I'm just happy you didn't put 28 cars in the set.
Well,
seem to be on a roll with that lately.
Sales wanted me to, but I, at some point we got to give the UPS drivers a break.
Yeah.
All right, I've heard a lot of buzz about this one too. I think a lot of people.
Yeah, the reviews are glowing.
This train is all charged up. This goes back to, again, a traditional Lionel set that brought into the scale world, and having a little bit of that merging of Lionel's past and present that we've done on several things. And as we get closer and closer to our 125th anniversary, it's a lot of fun going back through the older catalogs and going, we could try that again. So what's neat here is you'll have the glow-in-the-dark locomotive and the different freight cars, all scale cars, sort of reminiscent of some of the AEC things we've done in the past, where either the car itself or the loads, in the case of the gondola there, are glow-in-the-dark. The caboose, of course, will be illuminated and have a lighted and detailed interior there. That guy's having a great time back in the glow-in-the-dark uranium caboose. But I think my favorite car here is the boxcar with the freight sounds and the added Geiger counter sounds. That's just a great little bit of fun that we'll have there. And if you'd like to make it a little that much better, we've got the add-on B unit here as well to go with the set and give you some more units.
And it's likely you'll hear some fun new sounds in the engine as well.
Oh yeah,
unique to this set.
Yeah, this is screaming for us to have a little bit of fun.
My favorite part is our sound guy finding all of this out live.
Yeah. But his mind is already churning, I'm sure, on how to do some great things here.
He's irradiated with excitement.
Mm-hmm. And as popular as this already seems to have been, I could see this having some more additional freight cars and add-on pieces in catalogs to come too. So if this does as well as it looks like it's going to do. So definitely, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, get on board, and this will be a good one. Also, I've heard a lot of buzz about this. People excited to see the city of Miami in here, and this is a beautiful train. One of the three big Chicago to Miami passenger trains that ran on the sort of a circuit daily. Yeah. We've done some of the others already, but this one by far I think was the most cohesive unit, and the first one to have diesel power the whole way and so forth. The paint scheme on the E6 locomotive is one of my favorites. We're doing some new tooling for the combine and the coaches here because we didn't have anything that was really right in our existing arsenal. We were able to get pretty close with our observation and dining car, but we did tool up some new sides for the coach and the combine so we could get key lettering and things in the right spots there. These will have all the other great 21-inch passenger car features. This was a 7-car train, so it also works out really well with the way we normally package things. So you get the 4 cars in the set, and then we've got the add-on 2 coaches and Station Sounds Diner here as well. And the train name on that one, Dave, will be City of Miami.
Gotcha. So, this is a really good one to do. I mean, Miami really needs a win.
Ouch.
Go Bills.
Ouch. Well, Finn's up this weekend, and we'll see if we're still speaking to each other come Monday. All right. Some more passenger cars here. We mentioned earlier on with the Royal Blue that we're adding some semi-enclosed vestibule tooling to our line here. So we've got 2 more 2-packs to go back with some of the recently done New York Central and Pennsylvania Woodside coaches. So if you'd like to expand those consists, this is a great way to do it. Those deco schemes will match nicely. And you'll be seeing some more of this tooling down the road. I think, again, it's a small detail change, but it really changed the overall look of those cars a lot, and it's a nice touch.
Yeah, it's really hard to see how impressive it is until you see it in person.
Mm-hmm. The Looney Tunes series, Megan and Corey, who will be on with us in a little bit, they've had too much fun with this over the last year or so and had to get in on the action. So I know there's some guys out there who like the scale size trains, but aren't afraid to have a little bit of whimsy and fun as well. And so what we try to do is combine the best of both worlds here. And you've got some great Acme themed cars that have a little bit of a railroady feel to them, right? So they have the dimensional data, they have reporting marks and things like that. And the Coyote could order something from Acme and it showed up like 30 seconds later in the middle of the desert. So they must have had one heck of a transportation system, and these things sort of seem to make sense with that. So we've got 2 different box cars here, each one featuring a different Acme product that you'll remember from one of those Saturday morning cartoons. The boxes inside are also stamped with the Acme logo. We've got the TOFC car with, again, 2 trailers, each one with a different Acme product, and then the instant tunnel paint tank car. I mean, who can forget that one? Right. So this will be, I think, a fun addition, and I think it'll be cute to see who tuck a few of these into your train and see if anyone picks it out in the operating session, even for you high-end scale guys and get a little chuckle out of it. All right, Dave, I'm going to give you a shot to run with one here because you've put a lot of time into bringing back a fun piece from Lionel's past in a whole new way that doesn't sound like someone put their cat in the washing machine.
Yeah, so when it comes to our sound car electronics, over the past couple of years, we have decided to go back to the drawing board for a number of reasons, and kind of standardizing the electronics that go into all of our special sound cars, like Vision reefers, Vision box cars, station sound diners, etc. And so the first car in this new series that'll feature these electronics is going to be this hotbox reefer. And the way we set it up is this is essentially a Vision line reefer with a hotbox sequence added. So at normal operation, you're going to have your load and unload sequences where the guys are loading in ice, you have the stops, loading in produce, things like that. And then, using specific keys on the remote, while the train is moving, you can initialize the hotbox sequence. And so going around the layout over time, you'll hear the crew talk about, oh, I hear something, there's something wrong. After a while, you'll start to see the glowing lights coming from the truck that has the hotbox issue. The lights will start to flash, and eventually the smoke unit will kick on, sort of demonstrating that, hey, one of our bearings in this truck has failed or is failing, and we need to stop and get it fixed. And, then you bring it to a stop or a halt when you finally can, and they'll have to go through the sequence of repairing the hotbox or the bearing, and then you can make your way on. But there'll be other intermediate fun with it. I mean, if you stop before the problem gets too serious, they can fix it with more ease, or they can say, oh, it's all good, we just oiled it up, or things like that. So it's going to be one of those play value cars where you can kind of go through it with various sequences or various events, and you'll get something different. So we're pretty excited about this one. I mean, just like having a Vision reefer, but also adding lights and smoke and additional sound effects. And it really amps up the play value over the older hotbox reefer that we did a couple of decades ago now at this point, which was more of an automatic car, and it just did the sequence and had some really nails on a chalkboard level sounds that we're improving upon. So it's one that I've been wanting to bring back for a while, and I'm proud and glad that we're finally able to do it. So
I think this is a great new car. As you said, it really adds that play value that Lionel is all about. We're offering this in 4 of our most popular road names. So if you've already got an existing train of PFE reefers or Santa Fe reefers or so forth that you're running, these will blend right in there with another new road number, another great piece to add into your consist, or mix them in with a mixed freight and just have fun with it, however you want to do it. But I think these will be one of the big hits to come out of the catalog.
Yeah, and most of these reefers fit right into consist that we've already put other cars out that have sounds. So you can get really one noisy reefer train.
We've also got some milk cars coming back here in the catalog. A mix of prototypical and freelanced names here. We've got the Erie and the NCNSTL.
Need your glasses?
Yeah, I do.
One?
I'm getting old.
Here, let me take it over. Then we got O'Leary Dairy and Strasburg.
Thank you, Dave.
You're welcome, sir. You're channeling your inner Mike.
I am just. These catalogs are making me old from. These cars have all the great features that we've done in the milk cars in the past. The removable roof, you see the milk tanks inside, the doors that open, the little buffers on the ends, great detail in the trucks. And again, a nice mix here of proto cars with a little bit of whimsy in the O'Leary Dairy car. The Strasburg car has a prototypical feel to it. Of course, it's all fantasy, but as well as Strasburg does, I'm sure there'll be a lot of people happy to add that and run it behind their Strasburg Camelbacks and everything else.
Yep.
We started this series a catalog ago, actually 2 catalogs ago if you count the one in the Big Boy Super Sets, which just delivered not too long ago. And that's the Union Pacific World War II poster series of cars. So we're wrapping that up here in this catalog with 4 new 3-packs of cars. These feature the Weaver tooling for the PS1 box cars. So still separately applied ladders and running boards and so forth. A few less underbody details and things than the other cars, but a great looking car, each with its own unique poster art on there. We've got one more Freight Sound car in the series, and I think that's my favorite car of the bunch. That's the one with the poster of the railroader coming home from work to see his son on the floor playing with his train loaded with tanks and things there, saying, "Look, Dad, my train hauls tanks too." And certainly I think that's one that resonates in our hobby a lot. So that'll be a fun one to wrap up with the sound cars. And then we've got the Union Pacific CA1 caboose there with the flag and the slogan from the carries through from the posters, so that this all ties together in a complete train. Look great behind a Challenger or an H7 or you name it.
Mm-hmm.
Really fun UP train.
And these cars, for the level they're at, are a really good value and help you kind of fill out a train.
Yeah, well, and when you stop and think that we've got 7 3-packs and 4 sound cars in here plus the caboose, it's a healthy size train if you go for the whole thing.
Yeah.
We've also got some more Freight Sound cars in the catalog. These are a little bit simpler. They give you all the Freight Sounds, but are just put them on and run them. So they work just as great on a conventional layout as they do command control. You don't need Legacy to enjoy these. And we've done some different road names and some different configurations. Some of the more modern road names here without the roof walks on the top. So that if you're a modeler in the 70s or 80s, when a few of these 40-footers were still floating around, you have that option, a great way to add some sound there. We've also brought back one of the Friendship Train cars to keep that going. So if you've been building up the Friendship Train, you got a sound car there for you so that you can add some sounds to that consist as well. Some fun road names on the 8,000-gallon tank car. Again, a mix of color here and industries. We've got everything from tar to chemicals to corn syrup, you name it in this batch, and some really fun liveries based off of different prototypes. Some more TOFC cars as well. These have the separate trailers with the rubber tires, the opening end doors, a good mix of road names. Some we haven't done before, some we haven't done in quite a long time. New variation on the Southern Pacific trailers that we haven't done in the past.
So the nice thing about the ones that we have done in the past is you put new road numbers on them.
Yes, of course.
Yep. So that way you're not duplicating something we've done before.
And the cars are nice as well. You've got the wood deck there, the moving drop plates and so forth. They're really nicely detailed car.
Here's a unique one.
Yeah. So as we started these PS2 covered hoppers, we started looking at some various things, and our graffiti cars have done very well over the past few years since we introduced them. We weren't sure how that would go, but typically we sell many more of the graffiti version than we do the clean version. So we thought, well, there might be something to this. And as our printing technologies have gotten better, more detailed paint effects like graffiti and like weathering become an option for us. So we're going to try something new here with our trusty but rusty variations of these cars. So we've got one version in the, let's call it factory new paint, and another version that looks like they do after a few years of service. And we've got these will be printed up. We've done the art based off of prototypical photos to try and capture the look of that particular car number as much as possible. If you're a guy who likes to weather, you still have options to take these to the next level and spend some more time on them for sure. But we've done a pretty good job on the sides and ends to get you started already and get you a big part of the way there. And anxious to see how these do. Hopefully they do just as well as the graffiti cars do. And like I said, it gives us an opportunity to do some of the fun things like the Conrail car there with the patch out on it. That's a little bit more unique and very typical of what you'd see of these cars in service.
Yep. Brings a new level of realism to them.
We've got some additional cabooses here to wrap things up in the scale freight car world, the CA1 and N6B style wooden cars, variety of new road names and new road numbers here. for Union Pacific, Northern Pacific, Western Pacific. On the eastern side of things, some cars here that go well with some of the locomotives in the catalog, like the DT&I, the D&H. Of course, Strasburg and Pennsylvania. The two Pennsylvanias have our Vision caboose features in there. And then also a nice Lionel lines version as well. That's sort of a typical steam era look. We didn't go too crazy with the big bright blue and orange on this one, something that blends in nicely with the train. We haven't done a nice high-end Lionel lines caboose in a while, so I thought that was a fun addition. In a little bit more of a value-priced line here, again, this is using the former Weaver tooling, our old Lion scale tooling. We've got the steel side boxcar. These are available in 2 road numbers each, in 4 different road names. And also the wood side reefers coming back. Again, 2 road numbers available for each of these. I think we've got a nice range of regions and road names and color stories here.
Yeah, and even though they are value kind of priced, they are still scale cars.
Yep, scale cars, scale dimensions. A few less details than, let's say, the PS1 sound cars we saw earlier in the catalog, but able to keep the price down a little bit more on these. And if you're building a big train, these are going to look great rolling along in there and won't break the bank quite as much.
Exactly.
Along that same lines, we've got our 50-foot tank car, a nice new modern tank car edition that we haven't put out in the catalog before. These are available in 4 different paint schemes. These are going to be available as a single car and then also a 3-pack, because a lot of people like to run these in blocks or unit trains. And then for the 2-bay AAR hoppers, we've got 4 road names there as well, and these will be available as a single car and in 2 different 3-packs. All the cars have the same deco, they'll all just have unique road numbers. So if you want to put together a decent sized coal train, or if you want some more Erie hoppers to go behind your triplex, we've got you covered here in this catalog. You can get 7 differently numbered cars to pop in there in a hurry.
Excellent. Well, that wraps it up for the scale section for the most part. We'll still have a few items that we'll go over in a bit. We're going to take a brief intermission because we got to get ready and bring our superstars into the show, Corey and Megan. So bear with us while we reset our production here, and we'll be right back. We're back from intermission. Hey, everybody. Thank you for bearing with us for a couple of minutes. We brought in Megan and Corey.
The real product experts
The
here.
true awesomeness. So they are going to help us go through the more traditional size products in the catalog. And yeah, let's get at it, guys.
Zip right ahead here, Megan, to your first LC2 engines.
Yeah, kicking off LC2s, obviously with 2024 being the year of Polar Express, how could we not do the Berkshires in the LC2 line? We did last in 2019, so we're bringing back some additional road numbers, different than what we did in the 2019 run. You got the nickel plate, the Pierre Marquette, Chesapeake and Ohio, and rounding it out with the Louisville and Nashville. Great engines, again, something that people are always asking us to bring back. So 2024 is the right time to bring back the Berks.
And just to point out, these are different than the Berkshires we made last catalog, which was more the post-war style.
Yeah.
This is more the Berk Junior. So I know there's been a lot of Berkshires lately, and we have a lot of different There it is.
Hello?
Okay.
Can you guys hear us now?
Someone in the chat, can you hear
Tell
us?
us.
Yay.
Tell us when it catches up, Neil. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Before we resume the
Yeah.
show, I just want to go on record and say that Lionel will never be producing a Porter or a Plymouth. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, let me get the catalog back up here. As you can probably tell, we are going through some storms down here in North Carolina, and we will be probably seeing more of this in the bits ahead. I'm trying to get the, as I work on getting the catalog back up here on screen. Dave, how about a quick base 3 update, since I just saw a question about that, and just give
Sure.
a quick timeline on there.
Not a problem. So base 3 is making good progress. We've been slowed down by a few hurdles, as everybody knows, but at this moment we are currently putting the base 3 through the final testing in UL/ETL testing, and things are looking good there, and we should be done with that in another week. And once that testing is complete, we can go into production finally. So we are looking at ways to expedite production. Starting the production of PCBs a little early, and other things of that nature. So we're still trying to get the base 3 here. Late spring, early summer. I will have probably a more concrete date by the end of this month. But I will say it will at least ship before Christmas.
All right.
Back to you, Ryan.
Well, thank you. And actually, more importantly, now we have the catalog back and sound back. For as long as we can keep going with this show, we're going to. If we get kicked off again, by the way, we will make plans to rejoin you all on Tuesday afternoon at 3 o'clock to wrap up this show, assuming we don't have another storm here on Tuesday. Megan, we've interrupted you enough with things. Let's turn it back over for some great P42s here.
Yeah. Speaking of things that are back, the Genesis locomotive is back in the catalog again. We did our last run in 2022. There has not been a shortage of road names and schemes that we could do on these, including some Metro North MTA heritage units celebrating the 40th anniversary. So not only do we have a bunch of great Amtrak schemes, we also have the MTA schemes in the great LC2 features that you all know and love.
Doodles. That's how we refer to these awesome RDC cars inside the building. But so back in 2022, we actually offered the Doodle Bugs. They were a huge success. They're backed by popular demand. We wanted to add in some new and strong road names for you guys. And so that would include Northern Pacific, York Central, and others. Actually, we have one additional Doodle Bug that's not featured on this page, which you'll see a bit later, in honor of course, the Polar Express and the anniversary. But I'll hold off on that for the moment. And of course, these are going to come packed with the Lion Chief 2.0 technology. You're going to have Bluetooth control, smoke, Lionel voice control, things like that. So lots of good stuff coming in this particular product.
So really fun engines, I think.
Yeah.
This one's cold.
Very cold.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe that the Frozen movie has been out for over 10 years now. In 2023, celebrating its 10th anniversary, with more Frozen movies on the way. A couple standout characters from that movie for all kids was Olaf and Sven, and we took the opportunity to highlight them on this train set here. What's really cool about this set is it's got that lighted Frozen coal load. And a bobbing boxcar. So Olaf and Sven, as they go down the track, are going to be bobbing up and down as the train moves. So really exciting to bring this one back, and actually matches really nicely with the previous Frozen 2 set that we did.
Yeah, I love this one.
Keeping up with license schemes here, bringing back John Deere. We just did a diesel locomotive a few years back, so it's time to bring John Deere back in a steam locomotive. Utilizing that new potato sack hopper load as fertilizer sacks this go round for John Deere, And of course, you get those 2 great tummy loads riding on the flat car here. I think it just adds a lot of fun and a lot of authenticity to have those tummy loads riding on the train there. As an add-on, we're also introducing the John Deere barn. This will have a lighted interior, the movable crane, and the really unique John Deere decorations on there. And that is a plug, expand, play, so really easy to add to your layout.
That one looks really good, Megan.
Yeah, really nice.
Oh yeah. So up top here we have some made in the USA, printed and assembled actually in the USA boxcars. This goes back to a few of the PS1 boxcar designs that you saw previously that Ryan shared. Again, alluding to what he was saying, this is a mixture of some fun, but also some prototypical things that you would see on the railroad. So hopefully something a little bit different in this traditional line for us.
Yeah, those are really fun cars. And what's great about those is that they're going to go back really nicely with the set that we showed in the 2023 C2 catalog. That should be delivering in the next few months. They're actually working on it now. So if you had your orders in for that, looking forward to getting that out to everybody. And then rounding it out, we have the Dynamite Factory with the cool features, again, previously offered in the C2 catalog. Look at that beautiful locomotive right there.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Lots of
I
excitement
mean,
around this one.
woo.
New,
So
I'm going to let Dave take it off here,
Yeah.
but we got some new tooling.
Megan allowed me to do this because she's the most wonderful person in the world. But the Prairie is probably a lot of people's first post-war Lionel engine, and we really just needed it to come back to the line. So we have decided to retool or tool all new the Prairie, and this one is based on the 675 post-war Prairie. It's going to have modern internals with a DC can motor and everything of that nature, but everything else is going to look kind of like the post-war Prairie. You have a full die-cast shell, metal wheels and side rods and trucks as well, and it's going to be a wonderful little locomotive. We purposely decided that the marker lights would stay unlit and be the jewels that you're used to in the post-war version. And then we also have the tender that goes with it as well that we put the arch bar trucks on, which is what the post-war Prairie featured heavily. So this engine's going to have the wonderful Lion Chief features that we are all used to at this point, with lighting and the puffing smoke unit, along with the whistle and bell that have the different pitch levels and many of other, dialogues and accessories like that or features like that in this locomotive. And I'm just very excited that you brought this back, Megan.
Well, I'm happy to bring it back. This particular set is a recreation of the set from the 1940s. There's plenty of additional sets and configurations that they've used this engine in, so I expect that you guys will see this engine for years to come.
Yep.
And to go with it, why not get a dairy farm?
Mm-hmm.
What's really cool about the dairy farm here is that we're adding a new feature within this particular barn here. It'll have some sounds in it. So you'll have some looping farm animals. It's plug, expand, play. It'll have an on-off switch. And when you turn it on, the animals will be in the barn there.
Another one that Tracy and I just learned about.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Well,
Megan.
Well, thanks to all of our great stock cars over the past few years, you're going to have a head start on the sounds for those. And that just means I think we need a reindeer barn with sounds in the near future to go with my reindeer cars.
I'm out.
All right, moving on to some separate sail locomotives. Again, keeping on with that Prairie locomotive with the 262. We have 3 locomotives here, and you'll see some further back in the catalog in the Christmas schemes. But we've got the Santa Fe, Pennsylvania, and U.S. Army number 75 in that nice deep Army green color.
Yeah, Pennsylvania was a good choice given the Bell Pair firebox.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to some additional Lion Chief locomotive separate sales. The 242s, bringing those in with the classic Lionel Lines 242, a Burlington, and then taking a scheme from something that we just did not too long ago in the scale world, doing the New York Central Pacemaker 1939 in that really beautiful red color there.
I've seen a lot of people copying this paint scheme on steam engines and whatnot. I think this is a really, really popular one.
Yeah.
It looks really nice.
We are trendsetters.
Really nice. Moving on to some diesel FTs. Again, Lion Chief locomotives here. We have 3 new road names here, and then you'll see some additional in the pages to follow. But we have the Pennsylvania, the Union Pacific, and a really beautiful Lionel Lines 1900 in that classic orange and blue color. What you'll also see there additionally at the bottom of the page is some non-powered dummy FTs. These will go back perfectly with the ever popular Santa Fe Super Chief set, as well as the Texas Special. Again, really nice to be able to add those to your consist and pull those off to complete your set. ET-44 locomotives, bringing back CSX, BNSF, and a U.S. Army set.
These will get you excited.
Yeah.
Up next, we have our TMCC speeders. Of course, the best part about this is you can run in TMCC mode or conventional mode. We take some creative liberties with a lot of the deco here and had a lot of fun adding new paint schemes like you'll see in Area 51. If you collect those trains or any of the accessories for, say, Area 51, then this would pair very nicely back with those. Of course, you're going to get your interior lighting and your driver figure and forward and reverse operations. So again, some nice technology packed into small little guy.
Yeah.
Small, good-looking little guys.
Those are cute,
Yeah.
cute little guys.
Cute little guys.
Cute little guys.
And I'm excited about the ones with the plow that we'll see here later in the
Oh,
catalog
yeah.
too.
That's right. Little teaser.
Moving on to some passenger coaches. Again, another new tooling item for Lionel. We have the full Vista Dome added on for Santa Fe. So if you've got that Super Chief set, you can now add another passenger coach right to that. I expect that you'll see those in a bunch of multiple road names to come, but we definitely wanted to kick it off with the Santa Fe as its first run. With the multitude of Lion Chief separate sale locomotives and LC2 locomotives that we've done, we've given you guys so many different offerings on passenger coaches to choose from this go around. So whether you want to make just a short contest or make a really long passenger train, you have the option to do that. Kicking off with the Lionel Lines coaches. All of these coaches, with the exception of the baggage, will be illuminated. Yep. Additionally, in the passenger cars, we also have the Pennsylvania and Union Pacific coaches as well.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. A few catalog cycles ago, we introduced the Harry Potter passenger coaches for the Hogwarts houses. Those did so well, and people have been kind of clamoring to finally be able to add on to their Hogwarts sets. So we've been able to now do some really fun things in the boxcar world, in the freight world. Starting off, we have a set of the movie boxcars celebrating the most iconic moments from the first 3 movies. So you got your Sorcerer's Stone, your Chamber of Secrets, and Prisoner of Azkaban. Each one has its own unique side to it, again, featuring those really classic moments from the movie that everyone knows and loves. And we had to add a little bit of fun, a little bit of movement to the layout, and brought back the Harry Potter's Dementors, but this time moving through an aquarium car. So as this goes down the track, you'll have the belt internally with the Dementors going through the scene as they wreak havoc on the layout.
And of course, we could not forget to give the Hogwarts Express some love as well. So we took some scenes from the motion picture and the movies, and we put those on the Hogwarts boxcars that you see here at the bottom to the right. So a nice, well-rounded way to celebrate the Harry Potter franchise, but also the train in and of itself.
Yeah, I think people love the locomotive in that movie just as much as they do the movie itself. So really cool that you're celebrating those on the boxcars.
Definitely.
Moving on to Justice League, hitting some characters we did not hit last go round. Again, an additional ET-44 locomotive. Batman is celebrating his 85th anniversary in 2024. What better way to do that than to get an ET-44 locomotive that glows in the dark? What's really cool about that is everything that you see there in green will be glow in the dark on this locomotive. Really fun way to add some excitement to the layout there. We have the Flash as a Lion Chief FT locomotive. So he can pull all these beautiful additional pieces of rolling stock that we have. We're celebrating Aquaman with the 7 Seas tank car that'll have the liquid of the 7 Seas because he's the king of the 7 Seas. That'll be within that tank car there. We have the Batman 85th anniversary bat signal caboose, and that's in the specific 85th anniversary theme for Batman. We have the Superman steel I-beam flat car that'll come with the steel I-beams load. What's really nice about that is it also has the printed graphic on the flat car there. So if you ride it without the load on it, you still get that really cool graphic on the top there. And then rounding it out with the Green Lantern Power Ring Searchlight caboose. This year for Disney, we've done dual licensing with not only Disney, but Thomas Kincaid. They had some really beautiful art celebrating the classic characters of Mickey and Minnie Mouse in various different seasons or locations. So this go around, we have Mickey and Minnie Mouse in Central Park. We have Mickey and Minnie and the Candy Cane Express for the holidays, as well as the Christmas Lodge boxcar. So no matter if you're doing a Christmas layout or just a Disney fan, these cars will fit really nicely onto your layout there.
Absolutely. And on the right, we have 2 new pieces of art from Angela Trotta-Thomas. I wanted to say that the top is the Prairie boxcar, which is, of course, a nod back to the new Prairie that we're creating. Angela wanted to be sure that we had an opportunity to celebrate that, and she did such a wonderful job. And then below, we have a nice Americana look here with our diesel engines positioned in front of the American flag. She always finds a way to connect the emotion to the tradition, to the memory. So it's just a pleasure working with her.
Yeah, very much so. Speaking of anniversaries, Barbie celebrating her 65th year in 2024. What's really exciting about this, we had a lot of requests over the last year with the excitement of the Barbie movie. So being able to celebrate Barbie in her traditional sense, celebrating the different decades from the beginning, starting with 1959 and that iconic Barbie in the black and white bathing suit, as well as the 1960s and 1970s, all getting their chance to shine with those vintage images on there. And rounding out anniversaries for the Wizard of Oz, we have its 85th year as well, doing an illuminated boxcar there. What's really cool about this one is those ruby red slippers are going to glisten and glow. They'll have that light illuminated feature on there. All right. New for Lionel.
One of my favorite pages.
Bob Ross.
Do you want to hit it up with the
sure
first
do.
gorgeous car?
What was really exciting about Bob Ross is I think when anyone sees Bob Ross and his paintings, you get that resonant feeling of just happiness and excitement. So when we acquired this license, we were really excited. There's no shortage of really good ideas here. We have the Bob Ross Sound boxcar. This will feature Bob's classic lines on a loop as he goes down the track. His words of wisdoms, talking about happy little trees. It's going to be a really cool one. And of course, has his beautiful art on the sides as well.
Of course. And then right below that, we're offering a chance for you to see some of the imagery that Bob Ross created in some of his paintings, a celebration of his art. Actually, on top of the boxcar, there's a really fun paint splatter feature. Because, there are no mistakes, just happy little accidents.
That's right. A fan favorite already, we have the Bob Ross water tower. The Bob Ross team is all about celebrating uniqueness and having a lot of fun. And Bob was really a proponent of, having fun and taking risks. And it was really cool to take his, big, giant, happy afro and wrap it around the water tower there.
So cool.
So I think that one is going to be a favorite for many out of this catalog.
Yeah.
And then we have the gallery building featuring the internal art of Bob Ross inside, just celebrating all the beautiful works that he did. He did hundreds, if not thousands, of different paintings across his long career. And it's fun to be able to celebrate him and continue this line as we go.
That's right.
Speaking of good feelings.
Yeah.
Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, another one that I think everyone knows and loves and has a rich history with trains as well. Kicking off, we have the Mr. Rogers Sound boxcar. Each side will have its own unique art, one celebrating the inside of Mr. Rogers' home, where he would take his shoes off and put his sweater on. And then the other side will be the neighborhood of make-believe, celebrating that asset of the show as well, with lots of bright colors and a really happy feeling to it. And how could we not do Mr. Rogers' aquarium car? Every episode, he has to feed his fish. And what's cool about this is this fish will be on a belt that as the train goes by, the fish will swim through the car.
It's just so cool. You just get geeked up when you hear that you get to work with this team.
Yeah.
And so then we come to a card that is really dedicated to the person of Fred Rogers and who he was as an American icon. We're going to show some imagery here that you can see of him by a train layout, actually sitting on a train car. But also you see this little image of the trolley, the famous trolley from the Land of Make Believe. So how cool would that be to commemorate him in this way?
Yeah. So these are 2 new licenses for us. Obviously, I think a lot of us here around the table have personal connections to these, and we're very excited for these. I think we've heard a lot of good buzz even in the last 24 hours. And because they're new and there are so many things, and because they're just great partners to work with as well, we're sure that this is just the tip of the iceberg of some of the product you're going to see in the upcoming catalogs on these as we move forward. There are some. I've already heard some requests of, where's this or that? And, as we get the tooling developed to do some of these things, it'll happen.
Big wink.
Yeah, we're definitely very excited to be able to do the Mr. Rogers items. And it's been really exciting hearing all the buzz just a few days out from the catalog. So, for sure. All right, moving on. For those who collect either Chevy or Ford, bringing in those cranes in there. These are manually operating cranes. So the rotating cab and boom are manually operated by hand. Both of these paint schemes fit well into all of the other items that we've done with Chevy and Ford. So as you continue to collect on those series, these are a great ones to add on for years to come. All right.
Beer.
It's Friday. It's 5 o'clock
is.
somewhere. Perfect time to hit the Anheuser-Busch page. We do have 2 more of our, we used to call our Lion scale, but our value line of scale reefer cars here. Both identical deco, just different road numbers. And again, a scale size piece.
And we'll also be continuing on our reefer in the traditional line. This year doing the Clydesdale holiday reefer with that really nice holiday imagery on there. And for the first time, doing something a little different. We're taking that illuminated boxcar that we've done and taking some of the iconic Budweiser bar signs that you see everywhere and lighten those up. So that should be a good start to a series of all kinds of different neon signs that you see. And on the right-hand side of that boxcar, that Budweiser sign will illuminate and look like a neon sign almost. So cool. For those of you who visit us and the LCCA convention last year, you'll fondly remember the Lenny Lager. We had to commemorate the Lenny Lager beer here by doing a tank car as well as an industrial water tower with the blinking light on top.
That's right. All right, we didn't forget the ladies. If you're a longtime collector of the Wings of Angels series, we actually started this back in 2019 and it's going strong and we see no reason to stop now. But also we're going to come out with 3 new ladies here. And so you see Tala, the Lockheed P-38 Lightning. You see Nina and the Douglas SBD Dauntless. And then Caitlin with the Boeing B-17 Flying Fortress here. If you are a World War II fan, this is for you. Or if you just like the ladies, or both. Yeah.
Those cars always come out really nice with the cool printed graphics on the roof and just very highly detailed.
Yeah. They always look sharp.
Yeah.
I want to be a model.
Okay. We'll squeeze you in.
Wings of Angels, Dave Edition, next catalog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll be the Spruce Goose.
Okay. I love it.
Because we offered a multitude of Lion Chief plus separate cell engines this year, we wanted to give a multitude of options for those who, whether they do freight or passenger cars, they can mix and match and put together any type of set that they'd like. So all of the cars that you see on the U.S. Army page will match the locomotives in colors on the previous pages. So you have the U.S. Army boxcar, the flat car with tank. We did that tank load a few years back in the set, and this SKU will match those. So if you have that, you can add this one in as well. And the U.S. Army tank car, again, all the colors here match the previous set that we had just done not too long ago. So if you want to add those in or add a new locomotive with the U.S. Army scheme on them, they'll look really nice. Whether you model Western or Eastern freight, we wanted to give everyone some options here as well to go back with the separate sale locomotives that we did. We have the UP boxcar, the Western Gone, Southern Pacific Tank on the Western freight, and on the Eastern, we have the NYSW boxcar, the Anthracite Blue Coal, which is probably one of my favorite ones on this page, as well as the Lackawanna gondola with the canister load. And then as Ryan mentioned before, graffiti is always a big hit. We just did the -8 graffiti set not too long ago. These will match perfectly within that set as well, with the Norfolk Southern graffiti, the UTLX, or the Faramex Auto Rack.
And then on the right here, we have our continuation of our American History series. We always like to celebrate important anniversaries that are approaching. And so a few of those would include the East Broad Top 150th anniversary, one of the nation's oldest narrow gauge railroads, and also one of its most treasured. So really excited about this one. Then we have the 75th birthday of the California Zephyr, the original train, as you can see is pictured on the car. And even the 250th anniversary of the First Continental Congress, which is exciting because we're actually leading up into 2025, which is America's 250th anniversary of independence, which is, America, right?
Yeah.
And this actually comes with an exciting roof print of an American flag, but always trying to sneak those details onto the cars to give you a window into some of the richest of that history.
Yeah, as you mentioned, we're leading up to our America 250th in 2026. So if you're, of course, we will be doing all sorts of wonderful patriotic things along with that. This is another one of those cases where if you want to do the whole series, it's nice to start it a little early as we get through the revolution and so forth. So don't miss out now in these early years. And also want to point out too, on the East Broad Top car, we've had some contact with the great folks out at EBT. Really is a treasure out there, and they are hard at work bringing that whole line back to life. And so they've sent us some updated photos and some things. We're going to be making some special tweaks to this and making the car even more special now with that, and have some more great things in plan and hope for with them. So
Absolutely.
Very excited about what's going on there. And if you haven't already, go check them out and make the trip to Pennsylvania for that.
That's right. Any reason. All right. So now we are into our personalized section. These cars have just continued to do so well. And we try to come out with new variations each year for you to enjoy. As you can see on this page, a lot of these are refreshed paint schemes of, Christmas, birthday, anniversary, all the tried and true. But we're adding back in Happy Graduation, which was an idea we had a little ways back. And we just wanted to refeature it in a new paint scheme, see how it did. See if you like it. And you'll see some additional personalized as we move forward, but I think these are going to do really well, and they're a great way to just celebrate memories. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Here we are.
I think it's we found Megan's favorite part of the catalog, but I get to start off here with some great scale offerings. We had a lot of requests with the recent Halloween Legacy steam locomotives to add some passenger cars and freight into the line. So we'll start off with 6 Erie Limited cars. These would look cool behind the triplex, or for a lot of people are saying they would get these run behind their F-19s. Of course, these will look great in the day. There's a lot of detail packed into these. But then when you get into the nighttime, they come alive with the glow in the dark effect, just like the Erie locomotive. These will have the new vestibule ends as well. And since it didn't feel right to have, living 3-dimensional souls inside here, these will have a ghostly effect on the windows for the spirits inside. We also have a Vision Line Erie caboose to go along with the triplex. So this has not only all the great sounds that you would expect in the Vision Line caboose and fun there, but it also has the glow in the dark colors that will go back with that locomotive. For something to go in the middle or with any of your Halloween trains, we've got Dr. Acula's Blood Tonic, which is a really fun milk car here.
Back to the traditional side of things, again, offering up a lot of options for you in the Lion Chief world here. You have the ELX 242 and the new Twilight Route road scheme, as well as the Halloween FT. Both of these locomotives have the same paint colors, so that whichever way you choose to go, they'll match perfectly with the Twilight Route passenger coaches. All of the coaches that you see here will have the LED illuminated interior, but in purple, with the exception of the baggage coach.
Nice.
Right. And just to add to the Halloween offering, we have a Halloween trolley here. This is a conventional mode trolley. This is kind of like a Halloween party, all in and of itself. It's got some interior lighting, underside illumination. It'll have some flickering to the lighting to kind of enhance the effect, strobing, so to speak. So I think I'm super excited to see how this one comes out.
For those that were fans of the Trippy trolley,
Yeah.
this kind of kicks it up to
Yeah.
the same degree, and it's going to be really cool.
Yeah, we want to take our trolleys next level for
Yeah.
sure.
We had a lot of fun with glow in the dark this go round. So brought back the glow in the dark feature on a water tower. This is a two-sided fun addition to your layout here. Glow in the dark with two different sides of the pumpkin face. I think that'll be really cool. For those who bought the Fast Fright set not too long ago, we have the Freightliner auto rack that'll go in really well as the Ichabod crane car.
I'm kind of obsessed with this thing. I'm not going to lie.
How could we have not done an Ichabod
So
crane
cool.
car
It's so cool.
before? So, really that nod, of course, to Spooky Hollow with the Ichabod crane. I just absolutely love it with Sleepy Hollow. So it looks really good.
I don't get it.
Moving on.
We'll catch you up later, Dave. It's a little bit scary, so we'll wait until it's not too close to bedtime.
Fair.
Okay.
And for the first time ever, Angela Trotta Thomas had to get in on the Halloween action here for us. She painted a unique painting for us with the Hallows Limited locomotive on it. Again, first time for Angela doing some Halloween art for us. And of course, she knocked it out of the park once again in a way that only Angela could on this covered bridge. And then we have the Haunted Barn with the blinking lights. This will have the purple LED interior with the strobing blinking that you saw not too long ago on a covered bridge.
All right, heading into Christmas.
Santa!
Just to say all aboard.
Oh, sorry.
All right, we started off talking, and with the cover, this is, of course, the 20th anniversary of the Polar Express movie. It's been one of our most popular licenses over the past 20 years here at Lionel, and we continue to develop great new product to go along with it in both the traditional and scale world. We'll start off with the scale offerings we have this year, and of course, we've got quite a few. As we did for the 15th, we'll have an anniversary edition coach, as well as some rolling stock. We have one piece here with sound and one without. The sound car, of course, will have the sound of the bell playing in there. And then we have a complete Polar Express set. This will feature our burgundy version of the Berkshire, a combine that is available only in the set, where the striping sort of flares out to tie in the color of the locomotive. Then we have the anniversary coach there and our all-new tooled observation car as well. And I think that's going to be one of the big highlights here, the newly tooled observation car with the round end. This will be a neat piece here. It's got the add-on ladders like the original. There are the three lights up underneath the overhang on the rear platform roof there. The back wall of the car is also fanned out like you see in the different shots in the movie. Because we've been making this so long, the original years that we did the train, we had the black roof on the car and the Polar Express lettering above the windows. And then in more recent years, we switched over to the snow roof and the Polar Express below, like you see in most of the scenes in the movie, although it does change from time to time, especially with the roof. And because of that, and because we really knew that the observation car is one of these signature pieces in the collection, we wanted to make sure that we offered that for both. So if you have the older original cars and want a nice updated observation to go along with it, you have that option here.
And those observation cars will also have a rear light as well, right, Ryan?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. So the light up top there will light. I don't think we were able to go light into the drum head just because of where it sits on the railing, but the light at top and then the lights underneath the overhang illuminate, and of course interior lighting as well. We are bringing back the snow roof version of the mainstay cars here in the Polar Express train. So if you are just getting started this year with your Polar Consist, you can go that route, or if you've missed some of these in your years past or just need a few more coaches, you have the opportunity here. For locomotives, we have the classic black, always the best seller in the Berk, the classic black scale Polar Express Berkshire. We also have, as I mentioned earlier, a burgundy version, and then our Lionel exclusive with the plasma coat effect. This is one thing you almost have to see to understand and believe it. The color actually shifts depending on the angle that you're looking at it. We did a similar effect on our Dreyfus Hudson for 2023, so you can see some shots of that out there. The colors on this will be a little bit different, a slightly lighter blue and into a purple magenta tone, which really captures the feel of the Polar Express in both versions. So this is going to be a really beautiful piece, very special for the 20th anniversary, and I think a lot of people will be excited by that one.
Moving over to the traditional side of things, we have we couldn't go just over the run-of-the-mill Polar Express set. We had to, of course, add something extra and additional to celebrate the 20th anniversary. So not only does this locomotive have the special shimmer finish going down the burgundy striping, it'll also have a lighted tender. Before we'd done the coal load lighted and other various sets, but not only will the coal load light here, but the side of the side of the tender as well will illuminate with the special Polar Express 20th anniversary logos on the side there. So you get the special finish, the additional lighting effects. I think this set is just going to come out absolutely gorgeous. For those, again, who have been collecting for quite some time and maybe just want to add on to their original Polar Express set, we have the 20th anniversary coach with the snow roof and the 20th anniversary logos there. We also will do the Polar Express 20th anniversary coach in the black roof. Catalog art currently shows it with the Polar Express below the windows. We will correct that moving forward and have it above the windows so that it'll match those who collected it previously. We also have a 20th anniversary illuminated sound box car. So the lighting will be behind the Polar Express Believe punch outs on the ticket there, and the bell will sound at looping intervals if you believe.
Only if you believe.
Only if you believe.
Disclaimer.
I want to believe.
Yeah, good. You'll hear it. With the additional Berks we're doing in LC2, how could we not do the LC2 Polar Express 20th anniversary, again with that special Polar 20th anniversary logo and branding on it. For those who missed the LC 2.0 Berk the last go around, we wanted to offer it again in case you didn't pick it up. So it'll have the standard Polar Express decoration on that one as well. And then we have in LC2 a special Polar Express LC 2.0 Genesis locomotive. Real fantasy what if scheme.
All right, and then we have a Polar Express Doodlebug here on the right, and it's got that snowy roof, classic Polar look. And it'll just be a great addition to any sort of Polar layout, regardless of whether you have the set or you don't.
What's fun about everything that we've been able to do with the Polar Express is that no matter what you love or what you like to do, we have hit it in almost everything that we've done, and they always come out really cool. And the fact that you can expand your Polar Express world with all kinds of different accessories and different pieces is really exciting.
And speaking of which, we've done something a little special here with our Polar Express speeder by adding a really fun plow. So now you can plow the snow off your track before you let all your train cars run. A lot of good fun. Always like to be playful and very in line with that sort of Polar overall feel.
Just don't put real snow on your track.
Just don't put real snow on your track. Please don't do that. All right. And here we have two different Polar Express wind-up hand cars. These hand cars is really special, again, to just commemorate the anniversary. We wanted to do conductor and hero boy justice here by featuring those as the highlighted characters. You're going to get a little metal key, and it's going to have a bell shape, and essentially that nice 20th century or 20th anniversary logo on one side. So, and then another logo on the other. And then of course it's going to work in a clockwork-like mechanism where you have to wind it up. You put it on your track and it just dings a little bell and it looks awesome. And whether you're a collector or someone who wants to run this on your track, it serves both purposes. And we thought that the gold edition would be really nice. And as far as the characters are concerned, these are hand-painted character figures. So
Yeah, obviously new tooling there and
new
sculpts on that.
tooling, new sculpts.
If you've got any of the Mickey Mouse anniversary hand
Right.
cars, this past year, this would be a great addition into that
Yeah.
that collection and that line of Lionel wind-up cars. Very much in that, really classic old school
Yeah.
Lionel tradition, and carries that on quite nicely. I think these will be a real winner, and the
Yeah.
packaging and everything else too will
Oh,
be very
yeah.
similar with that. So you'll
Very
have that very
premium.
deluxe premium feel.
Absolutely.
We also have the Polar Present Transport car. We like to obviously add a piece of rolling stock year over year and add some new things in there. This will have the simulated present load. Looks like it's carrying it across the track. It looks really cool.
One item over here on the left I forgot to mention was we will be reordering our Polar Ice Track. If you're a fan of the Polar Express movie and you remember that sort of chaotic scene where the Polar Express train rides over the icy lake and starts slipping around, this is the effect it's going to give you. And we were just kind of blown away by the response. So excited to bring that back. And then here that we have a Polar Express 20th anniversary personalized car. I don't know how many of you have actually been to the rail events experience, and if you've gotten on the Polar Express, or maybe you just enjoy Polar and you like to dress up or what have you, this is the perfect car to commemorate that event or experience with.
Yeah, I know my kids every year have the Polar Express event at school. I've got lots of great pictures of all the kids doing that, so it'd be cool to do a box car for that.
Yeah.
Moving on to some accessories for Polar Express. Inspired by the home in the movie of Billy's house, we're going to do the Polar Express Billy's house in Plug Expand Play with the lighted interior. And you'll get a newly tooled figure for Polar Express with Billy holding up the present that you can put on the porch there. We'll also do a 20th anniversary water tower with the 20th anniversary branding on it. And accessory that we haven't done in quite some time, bringing back the freight terminal with the unique Polar Express branding, have the cool conveyor belt imagery from the movie on the belt as it moves, and will look like simulated presents getting loaded into your freight cars.
And up top here, we have two additions to our American Flyer line in Polar Express. We have a 20th anniversary boxcar and also a 20th anniversary coach. We've designed both cars to pair really nicely back to the Flyer Chief set, which will be available again. We'll be ordering that. So really excited to kind of like not only bring the train back, but add something new and fresh.
Yeah, and how could we not hit every scale that we do and bring it back into HO as well? HO will have a 20th anniversary HO boxcar, as well as a 20th anniversary sound box car, which will again have that looping bell sound as it goes down the track. And for those who have the Polar Express HO set, we wanted to add a 20th anniversary add-on coach with the exclusive 20th anniversary logo as well. And again, that set will be coming back again this year as well.
Yeah, we'll be having some more HO announcements in the not too distant future, so
Yeah.
stay tuned for that, HO fans. Out from the polar blues and into the red and green Christmas style here, we've got another great Christmas set, the Reindeer Road, based off of obviously here on the Milwaukee tooling, with some really fun colors features. The coloring in the catalog, especially online, makes it a little hard to see, but you've got the two-tone boiler here with the silver gray for the main color, and then the white top that carries across the train, almost not quite like a snow effect, but it gives that impression, and a really beautiful consist, inspired very much so by the Milwaukee livery in this case, and would look great behind this locomotive or many others.
It's a beautiful set. I love it.
We also have our North Pole Central milk train, sort of in the spirits of some of the New York Central milk trains we've done in the past with the F12 10-wheelers. So you've got the legacy locomotive, 2 milk cars, and then the North Pole Central Woodside Combine there at the back. A nice typical milk train setup. Really like the way the color schemes worked out on this. We have an additional milk car available separately from that set. That would be a great add-on there, or with other things, as well as the Deer Dash TOFC flat car and a North Pole Central caboose. We need some more cabin cars here to bring up the rear of all these Christmas trains we've been doing.
Those are really fun.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love it.
I couldn't let Ryan have all the fun with the Sleigh Bell Limited paint scheme. We had to bring it back into the traditional world because it's just such a stunning Christmas scheme. And I expect that this one will do really well. The amount of detailing on here and just the warmth and good feeling that it gives, I really absolutely love this set. So you get the FT locomotive with the 3 passenger coaches, as well as a 2-pack to add on if you'd like to make it longer. We'll also have an operating freight station and the Sledex scheme that we've done on a few freight pieces and other additional accessories. Again, with that PEP, it will come with the switch box to control it. Really fun and easy accessory to add to your layout. In the separate sale world with the Christmas locomotives, we have the Peppermint Railroad LC 2.0 Burke for that Christmas theme in LC2. A Winter Wonderland separate sale Lion Chief Bluetooth 262, and the Sleigh Bell Limited 242 locomotive also in Lion Chief, as well as the ET44 North Pole Central Snowflake Limited. Coloring on all of these, again, was meant to complement these passenger coaches nicely, no matter which set you pick up. These passenger coaches will match and look really nice with any of those engines pulling them.
And if you just can't get enough of the North Pole Central line, then why not add a speeder with plow? Again, with that snowy effect, it just make a great addition and round it out, right?
That's a really cute little speeder, and I think the addition of the plow on that makes a really nice touch.
Yeah, really exciting.
For those who collect the 2024 Christmas boxcars, the scheme goes across not only the traditional O gauge world, but HO and American Flyer as well. Really fun and a cute scheme on the side with the snowman and the cardinal. I think this one's came out really nice this year. We also have the 2024 Christmas music boxcar for those who collect those. Last year's was lighted. We'll switch it up this year. This one will not be illuminated, but we'll have those really great Christmas carols looping, and again, powered by Trek Power. Another really fun piece of rolling stock, the Peppermint Railroad Transport Bulkhead Flat Car with the Peppermint load on there. Really fun detailing on those.
And moving to Thomas Kincaid in a fun continuation of this series, back in November 2023, they created a new painting for Lionel called the Christmas Light Express. We've actually seen it in person. It looks really cool. And it's just a celebration of the painting in and of itself. Santa, you know, with his reindeer flying over the train. It's just very iconic, very, very reminiscent of, again, tradition, memories, and things of that nature.
Yeah, especially for those who have the Christmas Light Express set that we've done year over year, to be able to then bring that on a piece of a boxcar done only in the way that Thomas Kincaid Studios could do. Really made it pop. We have the Christmas Light Express covered bridge as well, being able to showcase that beautiful art with the LED string lighting around it. So I think that'll be a beautiful addition.
Yeah.
All right, we've got a couple additional accessories here.
Yeah.
To wrap these up with.
With all the Amtrak schemes, how could we not do a few Amtrak accessories? Like to hit those year over year with the Mail and Express station and Amtrak passenger shelter. Passenger shelter, really nice low cost accessory. No interior lighting, but something you can just plop down on your layout and will match anything that you've done previously with Amtrak.
Everybody needs an Amshack.
Everyone needs an Amtrak. Or a Lionelville passenger station for those who are looking for a generic, non-branded passenger station. And something really exciting for the first time, I'm going to actually let Dave talk about it.
Yeah, wake Dave up down there.
Bringing back the
yes.
PEP 153 IR for the first time.
Bringing it back for the first
Bringing it back
time.
for the first time.
It is cool.
So we've had the 153 IR accessory activator for a long time, and we felt that it was finally time to do a plug, expand, play version. So we put in some development efforts into that in the past year or so. This version will have a PEP male pigtail coming out of it so that you can plug it into the PEP track pieces or the other power supplies that we have available for PEP. And then it will control 2 PEP equipped accessories. So if you look in the catalog there on the right side, there are 2 female jacks where you can plug your PEP accessory in. And then when a train comes by, the IR that's being emitted from the back of the 153 accessory will detect the train and activate the accessories. So this is good for things like gatemen or signals or anything else that you want activated or turned on when a train comes by. This will have the same adjustments that the existing 153 IR has. So you can adjust the sensitivity, you can adjust the time delay, things like that. The other great feature about this is if you don't want to use the PEP jack to get power in, you can also use a DC barrel jack that plugs into the wall to power it. And we actually have circuitry built in that will automatically detect if you use an external power jack instead of the PEP, and it'll switch the electronics over to using that. So this is one of those accessory activators that can really bring a lot of animation to your layout with the ease of PEP without having to do traditional wiring like the existing 153 IR requires you to do. And the great thing is we will still continue to produce the traditional 153 IR as well. So you'll have your choice of the old style of wiring it yourself or the new style of the PEP where you can just plug in your accessories and go to town.
We will be taking this item with us on the road, so people can check it out. All right, rounding out new accessories, we have quite a few additions to some O-gauge lights here, whether it be street lamps or highway lights, whatever you have on your layout that you like to model. We have a whole bunch of warm white LED illuminated with traditional wiring. It'll come with the resistors for you to run up to 18 volts. Really easy to install and really nice decorative lamps for you.
These are all new tooling and very, very finely detailed pieces. I think these would be very nice for folks with nice
I love lamps.
finished layouts. All right. One thing as we get towards sort of the end of the new section of the catalog here that we did bring back in both the virtual and printed catalog that's I think caused a little bit of confusion online from folks is what's all this other still available stuff? There's a whole mix of things back here. A lot of these items are our standard active items like the Santa Fe Super Chief set or the normal Polar Express sets that we over the last couple of years have taken out of the mixing in with the new products so that you could focus on just what was new. But we did want you to lose sight of what was also still available. And in many cases, also like Track that used to have its own catalog. We just haven't featured that in the C1 catalog for a while. So we thought that we would put that in here. There are also a few items that we featured in past catalogs that we still have a little bit of here in the warehouse. In some cases, it's only a few pieces, but we wanted to make sure that those are available. And also our dealers and our friends out there in the market may have these also. So as you're looking for things that might go back with your new trains, for example, like some of the other Polar Express cars we've done in the recent past year that you see on one of these pages, you could add those into your consist. You can certainly find those at your dealers. And if they don't have them in stock, they may still have a shot at getting them here from Lionel. So that's why we included those this time around, so that you'd know what was still available in terms of our accessory line, our track, our ready-to-run sets, and so forth, to give you the full world of Lionel that's available. Because, you know, 186 pages of new stuff just wasn't enough for us this year. We wanted to go all out with things and make sure that we could make this program run for a solid 2 hours, although Mother Nature certainly helped us out along there with that as well. So thank you all for sticking with us through all of this. We have been seeing comments come up on screen and noted a few of those. Feel free also to follow up online and on social. As I mentioned over at the beginning of the program, for those who were with us at that point, we do have several in-person events coming up over the next couple of weeks and months. We'll be at the large train show in Springfield, Massachusetts in just 2 weeks. We follow that up with a couple of other shows with the World's Greatest Hobby back on tour again. We're really happy to see that program coming back, as well as visiting our Rocky Mountain Division TCA friends in Denver at the beginning of April. We'll be doing a few more of these podcasts and shows with some of our other media partners here over the next couple of days and weeks ahead as we get through catalog cycle. We'll be looking to wrap up orders about 6 weeks from now. As we get closer to that, we'll start reminding of your time so that you get all of your BTO and other wish list items in with your favorite dealer, so that you're sure that these items are ready for you when they arrive later this year. Our goal is to deliver everything you see in this catalog in time for Christmas this year. So we've got to get those orders in and off to our factories to get the elves working on Christmas for you, so that we have it all in time for the holidays. It's been a pleasure to be here with you. I want to thank you, Corey. Thank you, Megan. Dave, it's been good to have you here, and glad we got through the rest of this without the storms, although it looks awfully dark outside for 5 o'clock. So we're going to wrap up. Everybody have a happy new year, safe travels, and enjoy your trains. And we'll be seeing you soon.
Bye.